Constantine, episode 10, Quid Pro Quo. I was definitely excited for this episode because we were finally getting to learn about Chaz and, his family and everything about him, but we got more than I was expecting. I didn't think we'd actually get the answer as to why he's able to constantly die over and over again, but it was a really cool answer. I really love the fact that the spell isn't something that made him immortal. I like the fact that it was even a spell. Honestly, I just figured he was like a magical being or something random happened. I didn't think it was actually like Constantine did like a silly spell and he was just like saying stuff that he didn't even expect to work because he was just drunk and he was like, basically just doing it like, I did this, now you'll be fine. And, this insane spell actually worked. So I thought it was cool that it was a spell, and it was interesting how that spell kind of changed everything for Chaz and his family because he felt this responsibility to help all these different people, and it was just really cool to see that. And it was interesting, like it had like a cool side to it, like a really good side where it's like he stepped up and it was like, I have all, like 47 lives and stuff. I kind of have to use these lives for good. I have to help people, not die from all these crazy supernatural things on Earth. And then the other side of that is with him helping all these other people, he leaves his own family. And it was just a really cool dynamic that I enjoyed. I thought it was definitely just really good writing. I thought it was a nice touch for his character. And of course, it was great just to finally get to see something about his character. And we got to see him sort of explode in this episode and really have like actual anger issues. Because normally in all the episodes, it's just like he kind of goes along for the ride. He makes a little joke. He has a plan which he typically just throws out the window because he can die a bunch of times anyway. And then, just, punch whoever like he did in the last episode. But it was really cool to get that detail on him. We got to meet a new villain in this episode, Felix Faust, who is pretty cool and definitely powerful in this episode. I'm sure they'll bring him back at some point if we get a season 2, which I hope we do. But I like this character. He had a actual relationship with Constantine in the past, and it's sort of a back and forth thing with both of them, and Constantine typically comes out on top, but in this case, it was the other way around, and Faust had way more power, and he had, a lot more control, so that was really cool, and we got to see an older character who knew Constantine, and like I said, if we do get a season 2, they might bring him back, or maybe, even in later seasons, they might bring him back so he can try to do his own thing again. But I enjoyed him as a character. He was pretty cool. He kind of had an interesting sense of what he would let happen. Like he had his deal with Constantine, and then when he found out what would happen, it was like, if you give me your soul as well as all the ones you have, it was kind of like, I'll give you my word that I'll leave your daughter alone. She, her soul will be fine until her natural death, of old age and stuff. So it was interesting to see just how his character was. He wasn't like, oh, I'll just take all the souls and do whatever I want. He was fairly honorable about it. He made actual deals, like with Constantine. He made a legitimate deal with Chaz if it had gone through. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And, I know how things ended in the episode, but you kind of never know with the show. He could be dead for like a long time, or he could be dead permanently. You just, like, there's some things you kind of just don't know. So, especially considering the fact that he was flat out harboring souls, who knows if there was one soul, like the first one, could have just been gone for too long, maybe. Like that person did actually die and they didn't get to wake up from that coma. If he has that soul, he could have survived somehow. I don't know. But, it was a great ending for the episode. I thought it was really cool what Chaz did. Like, he hits him with a little paralyzing wristband type thing. Because every time they did it, it just looked like a slap band to me. So that's just how I pictured every time they do it. But he hit him with that, and then he just, like, blows them both up. So I thought that was actually really cool. And, getting to see some of the other dynamics of his family, like his wife and how she interacted with Constantine, and how she was, like, giving advice to Zed and early on in the episode, like, you don't want to be around this guy because he'll screw stuff up for you. It was definitely cool. I enjoyed that. The flashbacks were good. I like the way they implemented the flashbacks. It was, like, piece by piece. And, we saw the beginning of the episode where he died. Then we see kind of the after effects and when he first woke up and when he really found out what happened during the spell and all that stuff. So it was really cool. I like the way they went through time and how he went from this really normal life to being happy he could see his family again to not really seeing his family nearly as much because this spell made him kind of it was sort of a up in arms type of thing, and he had to just go out and use these lives that he now had to do more, in his eyes, to really just do more for the world compared to his family, which that's a really hard balance, and unfortunately he went too far to just helping other people, than his own family. So it was a really good episode. I I really can't wait to see what we get in these last couple episodes. I mentioned this a lot in my last review. I really hope we get a season 2. I love the show. I think it does things really well. The seance in this episode, I don't think I've seen a seance on TV that ended so poorly, where it was just like the one guy who's helping them out, who got his nose broken by Chaz because, he was really angry this whole episode, hits him in the nose. It's like, all right, I'm going to help you guys. He helps him, and, he channels Chaz's daughter, and then he gets taken over. And then poof, he gets set on fire, and he's done for. It's like, he didn't want to help Constantine because it's Constantine. He gets kind of forced into it, and then he just gets lit on fire, and that's it. Like, well, that character didn't want to help. He knew that Constantine was trouble, and he literally just got torched, and that was it for his character. So it was crazy to see that happen. And he was a minor character, so it was like they kind of just brushed right past it. But that's kind of what makes it so impactful. Like, they couldn't spend all this time like mourning this character that they knew or anything like that. It was like it happened, and then they just have to move on because they have to save Chaz's daughter and all the other kids that have gone into comas. And it was crazy. I just thought that was really interesting. Like, they do stuff like that where if a character isn't important and they die, just along the road, then that's what happens. They just get killed off, and the team keeps moving because they have to keep moving because they don't have time to just stop and mourn. Like every individual loss. So I thought that was a cool moment too, and it was just, like I said, it was just crazy. Like, he got possessed, he floated up in the air. I thought that's all it was going to be, and then he got set on fire, and it's like they couldn't save him. He just died, and that was all there was to it. But I enjoyed the episode. Excited for these next couple. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know. The big question is definitely what we're going to be getting and what you guys want to see in these next couple episodes. Like, there are some cool things that happened in this one. Getting to know Chaz was really the big component, and getting to see, getting the true answer of how come he can survive all these crazy things. And it's not that he's immortal, it's that he has a certain number of deaths. But I still want to know, what do you guys want to see for these last couple of episodes? Do you guys want to see more history on Chaz as a character? I don't think there's really too much that we could see at this point, because they kind of gave us like the whole thing, like he was, a normal father and husband. Spell came in, and then he had to be like a hero, basically. But, what do you guys want to see from these next couple of episodes? I'm sure we're going to get to see some stuff with Zed. And even though they talked about it a little bit in this episode before they got into like the main story, I'm sure that's going to be like the biggest point for, if not the last 2 episodes, definitely the last episode, I think at least. And also, we didn't see Manny in this one, so that was kind of interesting. There was no, Manny kind of coming in with any angel intervention or anything like that. But like I said, I want to know what you guys want to see in these next couple of episodes, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.